Here we go. Back to where it all started. I acquired a 12-acre piece of land from my wife's friend owns. Back in turkey season, she told me she had some gobblers on the place. I went and looked. I set up some cameras. I heard about the next level deer supplements mineral on the Whitetail Legacy podcast. So after getting to know Nate and Scott a little bit better, I decided I'd go ahead and try their product. First time running any kind of mineral, anything like that. Almost immediately, the pictures started coming in. I was getting bucks, and I was freaking out. Didn't know what to do. It was first time running trail cameras, and on the 23rd of June, I got the first picture of the buck. Eventually, would come to be known as MACE. So come July 11th, he shows back up. He's got all this spiky little inside kickers. That's where we decided to call him Mace. So throughout the early part of the season, I thought I had him on a pattern. It was about every 4 days he'd show up, and it seemed like every time I sat in a stand, he'd show up the next day and push to 5. But if I wasn't there, it was about every 4 days. But here we go. Moment of truth. November 1st, I get out to the stand. I'm ready. It's a beautiful morning. I got a trail camera that watches the trail that comes to my stand where most of the deer come from, so I sneak around. I pull that card, and there he is on the 28th, a couple days before. I will warn you, this gets emotional. It goes real low to real high, real fast, and there's a lot of sentence enhancers used to describe how I'm feeling.
I just shot him. I shot the big one. He just fucking came in at 20 yards. I just smoked him. It's a good shot. It didn't go all the way in. It broke off. I saw him. I fucking just shot him. I just shot the big buck with the fucking kickers. Oh my god, I just shot Mace. I just fucking shot Mace. Oh my god.
Well, not sure if you could tell, but I shot him. I remember looking down at my watch about 9:12 and deciding, you know what, I'm going to rattle. I'm going to give it 15 minutes, and then I'm going to take off. We had some stuff to do with my in-laws that day. even though the rut was on or just starting to fire up real good, sometimes that honeydew takes over so you can get out later in the season. So I smoked the horns together at 9:12. Stood there for a minute, felt like an hour. Looked back at my watch, said 9:15, and I heard something rustle behind me. I turn around and look. There he was, 10 yards. Here we go. So I stand up, I get everything hooked on, and as you can see, I spooked him somehow. I don't know, I was doing something with my hand, and it made a noise, and he didn't like what he heard. He took off. So I reach up, I grab my grunt call, I hit my grunt call twice, I hook back onto the bow, and for whatever reason, whatever I said to him, here he comes. So he steps back in. He's at about 40 yards. There's a tree limb in front of me. I see my opportunity. I draw. I'm holding what felt like 6 years. He steps into finally steps into the shooting hole at about 30 yards, and I was ready to let him have it. But he was about almost straight on with me, and I'd made the decision there that I was not going to take another bad shot, especially on this deer, the one I wanted all year. There was no way I was taking a questionable shot. And no sooner did I make that decision, he took about 5 more steps, standing up around 20 yards. He's 1/4-2, but not hard enough where I'm worried. He's almost broadside. I let her rip, and boom, right in the wheelhouse. And I fell to my knees, man. That's where that video started of me on the Snapchat. I lost it. I just could not believe that I finally did it. I finally did what I set out to do that season. I see I got blood. I decide I'm going to give him plenty of time. I head to the truck. I'm taking clothes off, getting everything ready, calling everybody I know. My phone rings. I look down, and it's John Workman. We get on FaceTime together, and he's like, "Take me to the spot you shot him at." Okay, so we go over. I look at the arrow shaft. He's like, "Can you see any blood?" And it was a frosty morning. We're in some taller grass, and it was just frost had started to melt. It was real hard to see. And when there was blood, it was hard to see. It was just a rough situation. He's like, "Get to the edge of the woods where you think you started to go in, and start looking at leaves when you get leaves." I'm like, okay, so I get up there, and I look underground where I'm pretty sure he went in, and I'm like, well, there's a little bit of a knoll. I look up, and I'm like, I'm gonna take 3 more steps. I said, and that's as far as I'm gonna go. If I don't see him then, I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna sit in the truck for another 30 minutes. Just make sure. And I took 3 steps, and
What do you guys think? Are you excited?
Yeah.
What do you think, bub? Grab a hold of it. Grab the antler.
Daddy.
It's dead. Go ahead. Grab a hold of it. Is he heavy?
Yeah.
Bubby, you gonna grab it? There you go. Your first buck, the lady. What do you think?
Isn't awesome?
Look at Daddy. Smile. So Jesse shows up with the kids. We help them track and find the buck themselves, and then move them out into the sunlight, try and get some pictures. Get them loaded up into the bed of the truck, and we head on to my in-laws, where unfortunately about halfway there we got in a car accident. Somebody rear-ended us on the interstate at a stop for a wreck. So, you know, highest of high days turns into a low day, but nothing could break my spirits for the rest of the afternoon. This was the best thing that could happen. Once we were done with all that, we went on to my parents' house to show them the buck, and went home, got him strung up in the garage. Next morning, went outside, we took some pictures with the buck in the next level, And Dad came over and helped me cape him out after he got off work. And from there on, we were just kind of on a high note, just riding out this wave. I'll tell you, I don't know very many cooler 4-year-olds than my daughter. She took multiple selfies on my phone. She was so proud of her dad and what he did with this buck. I just want to stop here for a second and thank my wife for allowing me to go crazy like I did last year. Spend so much time in the woods, so much time away from the family. She really held it down while I was gone off chasing what I wanted to do. And I hope to get her out sometime next season and allow her to do and enjoy a little bit of what I got to enjoy this season. We'll see you in 2020.